We're going to call it Friday Overreaction Fun Day. I mean, I went big day, team. I put the glasses on. I went hat on backwards because I just figured it's a relaxed Friday. Got to spend the night last night with my good friend Gregory P. Allen Braggs, the White Sox game, watching Roma Dunze throw out the first pitch. Caleb hanging out, all the rookies. Nicholas Moreano is here. Welcome into the CHGO Bears podcast on an overreaction to yesterday's OTA. Offense looking terrible, defense looking great. Bears still a Super Bowl contender, but maybe back in the lottery. Who the hell knows what's going to happen in 2024 Friday. Gentlemen, good lunchtime, noonday Friday to you both.
How you guys doing? I feel like Mark, you're setting the tone here. I'm really curious what you have lined up for us as you kind of were explaining before I went live here. So it should be fun.
Yeah, well, we got a bunch of sound that I want to play, and I want to dive into the Flus. We're gonna do a Flus dive, and to Gary out early with the 1920 episode was great. I am gonna tee up both Nick and Greg for their 1920 reactions, and yes, I have some of my own as well. But look, Nick, you were the first person in Chicago media to put out a tweet about how the offense didn't look great and it wasn't Caleb's best day. There's been a ton of reaction about it. You were talking about that reaction. Braggs, you weren't there, but I know you have a reaction to everything that's going on. So just, call it 24 hours later, your panic level or concern level, let's go with concern, is on a 1 to 10 scale. Are you at a 1 or are you higher than that?
No, I'm not higher than that, Mark. And that's where I want to talk and bring this conversation to everybody, because I put that tweet out there. It's got over 600,000 views at this point. And you can ask anybody there. It was a rough day for the offense. There's no denying that. But it is, at that time, was May 23rd without Keenan Allen, Roman Dunze, 2-year starting offensive lineman with a new offense coordinator, new quarterbacks coach. It goes on and on and on. And yes, there were some things that were, disappointing to see from Caleb running out of bounds in a 7-on-7 drill, running out of bounds in team drills. But the bigger thing here is this. Like, I was kind of getting irritated with Bears fans who are coming after, I think, myself and some of the media, like, why are you putting this out there? It's like, what? It's May 23rd. It's like, well, how about when it's July 23rd and the Bears offense has a good day? I won't put anything out there. Like, let's keep that same energy. If they have a good day in practice, we're going to report it just how it is. If it's a bad day in practice, going to report it as is. But still, it's so early on in this process. There's no reason to get worked up. It was Caleb Williams' not his first practice, but the first practice we were able to watch. It didn't go well. And I'm really curious to see how Friday's practice, when we're back in attendance next week, how that practice goes. Hopefully you see a Keenan Allen, maybe a Roman Dunze if, he's progressing in the right direction. But there is no reason for Bears fans, other fan bases, to look at Thursday's practice and be like, oh, season's over. This is not going well. This is like every other Bears quarterback. That is not the right approach to this one practice. Everyone is going to have one bad practice. So just want everyone to stay level-headed. It's practice. Again, Allen Iverson, it's practice, right? So I think people just need to recognize that as they're kind of looking at the reports that are coming out. Like, yeah, it was a rough day, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, so you're hitting on something that I really, and we'll get into the Flus files coming up here. I'm looking for honesty, to be able to speak truth, and for the truth to be okay. It would have been complete. First of all, the media yesterday, to your point on the media, the questions, a lot of them were tame. Hey, knowing that it's this early in the season, knowing that you don't have Roma Dunze, knowing that Keenan Allen is off celebrating birthdays, a lot of that was how questions were teed up to Matt Eberflus and the offense struggling yesterday, knowing that he's a rookie quarterback. So, people going at the media, that is like waking up and having your coffee. That's a normal reaction. But look, I thought that there was a lot of understanding the circumstances questions from the media yesterday. Gregory, where are you at with all this?
Well, Nick, Nick, are you proud of yourself? He's spreading this misinformation across Bears Nation and Bears Twitter. How dare you, sir?
I know.
Don't you know that they're working on these incompletions? They meant to do that because they got to get it out of the way now because of all the touchdowns they're going to throw in the regular season. Come on.
It would have been good, actually, Greg, if there were incompletions. They were just running out of bounds. There wasn't even an incompletion.
Yeah, well, I mean, as someone that's been going and Nick and I have had many a days at training camps all the way back to Bourbonnais. I've been going to training camp since the early 2000s when they started going to Bourbonnais, and this is the dance we play as fans, trying to decipher the good from the bad. If Caleb Williams had shredded the defense yesterday, we would all be rejoicing, and I'd be running naked down Lakeshore Drive, and we would be fitting him for his Hall of Fame gold jacket. But, oh, by the way, he shredded our defense that's supposed to be very good and in their second year. I've told this story many a times here on this show, but for those of you that haven't heard it, I mean, one of my favorite training camp memories ever was watching Jay Cutler shred the Bears defense once upon a time, and the crowd was going wild with oohs and ahs and clapping, and Charles Peanut Tillman turned to the crowd after like the fifth touchdown over the top and was like, the defense plays for you guys too, because everybody wants to see the fireworks. Everybody wants to see, especially when you have a new quarterback in town. And we've gone through this with Jay Cutler and Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields. And now we're going to go through this, with Caleb Williams, and there's a process. So, trying to figure out, if it's good versus good or bad versus bad. I've seen training camps where it's too bad. It's a bad offense versus a bad defense, but then both sides of the ball are making plays at camp. So you're like, okay, maybe they got something here. No, they just both sucked. So how do you decipher what you're seeing is good versus good? Or right now it's good defense versus a work in progress offense. And I think we all understand that. So when we get to the point where it feels right that both sides of the ball are clicking, maybe not on all cylinders, but close to it, I think you'll start to see less of the layup plays and more of both sides of the ball are making tough ass plays, tight window plays, whether it's on defense or offense. So, there's always that rationalization, right? Caleb, has a tough day. Well, that's a good thing. This is a great defense that he's learning from, and the windows that he can and can't throw into. I can go through a whole laundry list of rationalizations when the offense has a bad day, why that can be a good thing. And you can do it the other way. It's just, that's what training camp is for, is working those things out. But the more you go, the more you learn, what is right to the eye and what isn't right. And it's way too early in this process. They're not even in full pads. They're in shorts. They're installing. So nobody is overreacting. I know, Greg Gabriel was saying the media is, they set him up to fail. From what I saw with Nick's reporting is he just said what he saw. And we went through this last summer too, where Adam Hogue was like, hey, it didn't look great today for Justin Fields, and he got lambasted for that. That obviously led to a tough season, maybe not the perfect season for Justin Fields, but at the end of the day, that's what we're going to do this summer. That's what we're going to do at minicamp. That's what we're going to do at training camp. We're going to report what we see, and you guys get to, do the best you can to decipher through the information we're trying to give you.
So one point that you made in there, Braggs, was the defense part, and they both play for the Bears. I thought one thing that Flus said yesterday, and we're going to get more into Flus, but I want to play this quick one for you. He talked about how they're going to lean on the defense to start the season. I thought this was a little bit of he's jumping ahead a little bit, but I did think this was an actual honest answer to how the Bears are looking at the way the season is going to start. So here he was on the D.
Our defense played well down the stretch. We all know that, and we anticipate them coming off to a fast start. And we certainly wanted to have that, and the guys are excited about putting the work in to get that done. Nothing's guaranteed in this league, and you got to put the work in. Success travels through the company of very hard work, and we have to get that done.
So he's got all his Flusisms about hard work, which is an accurate statement. Thank you, Matt Eberflus, for reminding me that it's all about hard work. But it's all the defense was hot at the end of last year, and we anticipate them getting off to a hot start. So this is not rocket science. I'm not saying anything that I think you mentioned somebody named Greg in your soliloquy there, Briggs, that people don't know. But yeah, they're going to lean on the D early. They're going to not try to put too much. They're not going to have, you would think at least, coming out firing and putting it all on Caleb to digest all this offense along with everybody else who's digesting it. Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift, Ryan Bates. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. The dude in the middle of your offensive line, two of your top 3 wide receivers, one of your 2 top tight ends. There's, we're going to lean on the defense. I actually think that to me sounds accurate. That to me sounds real.
Yeah, well, yeah, Boy Boogie is complimenting how skinny I am, and we're gonna take a second to acknowledge that. But they are gonna lean on the defense as they should. They should, take things, slowly in Caleb Williams' development early on in the year. With what the defense has in place right now, with the way they finished the season, the additions they've made, I'm sure they're going to add another pass rusher. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. At the very, very least, Yannick Ngakoue. That I think they know. And one of the guys I was really impressed with, Kevin Byard, who we very rarely talk about, not just us here on this show, but just across the board, fans and media. It's like he's the forgotten addition to this team. I don't know about you guys, but I was really impressed with the things he had to say yesterday. He seems like a natural born leader and a good veteran. I don't know, Mark, how you handled going through all the old people jokes, between Kevin and who was the other guy that spoke to the media yesterday? Everybody was making DJ Moore. DJ and Kevin were making the old man jokes. Were you okay there? Were you getting in your feelings?
Greg, as you may learn one day,
I learned nothing.
Age is just a number, buddy. But age is just a number. We need veterans on this team. We need veterans on this podcast. Lord knows that you 2 youngsters need some veteran leadership here.
And we need your guidance. We need your guidance so we don't get off the rails here. You hear that, everyone?
Yeah.
No, but I don't know about you, but what I really liked with Kevin Byard, I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite parts was when he talked about him and Jaquan Brisker and how he doesn't want Jaquan Brisker to be just in the box guy, that he wants defenses to see both the guys in the box, both the guys playing deep, so they don't know, okay, this is what we can expect from them. And for me, safety has always been like this, code that can never be broken here in Chicago, all the way dating back to Mike Brown. We can never get that perfect combination of safeties. We had it for one season with Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson, but it has always been in my mind that, okay, you have one guy that's the center fielder and one guy that's your heavy hitter in the box. But the way Kevin explained it really made a lot of sense to me, in the fact that, like, hey, you got to disguise coverages these days. You got to be able to, trick these quarterbacks, so you don't want to have them something they can anticipate. So I enjoyed that little tidbit from Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin was awesome. Jaquan has always talked about that too, Greg. Like, he's been really expressive. Like, yeah, I want to be all over the field. And I think that's the best way to utilize a guy that has so much energy, can obviously play in the box, has some range when he's, in the deeper half. So I think for the best thing for this Bears defense, utilize that 2nd-round draft pick out of Penn State, who clearly has some ability there, and just limit him what he can do. Like, he's been really vocal about wanting to be all over the field.
$9.99 super from Crystal, sending this super for Braggs.
Yes.
People think we are at odds. It was just a joke, everyone. Love you guys. Have a great weekend and happy Memorial Day. What happened with you and Crystal? I missed that.
Well, I just give her a lot of shit because you're her favorite, and that bugs me tremendously. I just think it's, Crystal's a good person and she has great character, but I question her decision-making because she's outspoken about how much she loves you and how you're her favorite. And I just don't get that when you have these kind of options to the right with me and Nick.
Yeah. Crystal has great taste. You're a disgusting human being, and and she's figured that out, and that's why she's right here. Hey, shout out to our friends at Whirly Ball. It's a combination of basketball, lacrosse, hockey, all being played in bumper cars. Honestly, go out there and have fun with some of your friends. And some of your enemies, because you can, crash that bumper car quite convincingly, even though it says here that you're only going 4 miles per hour. That 4 mile per hour, it hits. Let me tell you. There's the Bucktown location's got 3 whirly ball courts, 12 bowling lanes. They've got lane side service so you can drink to your heart's content. There's the 2-story laser tag arena, private event spaces, 45,000 square feet of fun. So a great place to do literally anything with all of your friends, all your work people. 32 craft beers on tap, craft cocktails, upper scale bar food. It's delicious. Booking with Whirly Ball is very easy as an intentional walk, as we throw in a little baseball for you. Go to whirlyball.com/CHGO, WHIRLY ball.com/CHGO. Purchase an hour of Whirly Ball and you get 30 minutes of bowling for free. You must book a private event to redeem. Book that now at whirlyball.com/CHGO.
You got to check out Whirly Ball, and you also got to check out C4 Performance Energy. Powers explosive energy with 200 milligrams of caffeine and provides enhanced endurance with carnosine beta-alanine. I'm drinking my C4 right now. This flavor is amazing. It's made with clinically studied ingredients, 0 grams of sugar or artificial colors, and carrying the NSF certified 4-sport label. C4 Performance Energy is the athlete's choice for elevating performance, and C4 Performance Energy fights muscular fatigue and powers enhanced muscular endurance with energy you can feel. So C4 Performance Energy is available in a wide variety of amazing sugar-free flavors, including delicious collaborations with grape popsicle, strawberry starburst, and orange creamsicle. Elevate your performance with energy that hits. I don't know a day that I haven't had a C4. I usually drink it right before a workout, and if I need to do work or write articles, got it right here. You guys actually have one. Oh, right here, right next to the shoe. So check out C4.
All right.
Real quick, the one before we move on to the next topic, but the other point I wanted to make too was in terms of what we see at camp. Another comparison I can make is Mitch Trubisky's 3rd year after his Pro Bowl season. They didn't have Julius Peppers in the 2nd year where the Bears made the playoffs because they traded for, or not Julius Peppers, Khalil Mack. They had Khalil Mack right before the season started. So we didn't get to see him until Mitch's 3rd year where they tried to go to Mitch Trubisky 2.0 offense, and he wasn't ready for it. And nothing looked right this time of year. And few people reported on it. Dan Wiederer was reporting on it. I was yelling at Dan Wiederer on ESPN 1000's airwaves as I was calling in, and nobody wants to hear the negative reporting right now. And the problem was, in a lot of ways, from the reporting that I heard, and some of the coaches were even saying it, Khalil Mack was blowing up practices because he was so dominant that they had trouble getting first-team reps, quality first-team reps for the offense, because Khalil Mack just continued to dominate on the line of scrimmage. But at the end of the day, Mitch ended up not being the guy. And so if the defense is so good that Caleb Williams can never get comfortable, then at the end of the day, he's not the guy. But I don't anticipate that to be the problem. The defense is very good, and that should make Caleb Williams better. And then at some point in training camp, or at some point this season, through that hard work versus a quality defense that he sees every day, it should elevate his game. We're just not used to seeing quarterbacks that take the next step. We've had talented quarterbacks in this city, but none of them have been able to go from good to great. So now we have a talented quarterback who's playing a good defense, and it shouldn't be something that keeps him down for long. If he's the goods, if he's a great quarterback, somebody who we saw in this 1920 club or 1920 football drive thing where they think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the league, then he will elevate his game through playing a great defense.
Let's get that super chat from Elijah up here. Greg Gabriel is an idiot. Nick is that dude. Love you guys. Bear down. Greg is the smartest guy on in football.
I'm the Greg idiot here on this show. Greg Gabriel actually is one of the reasons that Devin Hester was drafted to the Chicago Bears. So, I know he's strongly opinionated on Bears Twitter, but he also did some great things in an era where they drafted a lot of really good players to this city, including Devin Hester and Charles Tillman, Tommy Harris, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, those guys with Jerry Angelo, that they actually, I think, were underappreciated in their time.
So let's get into the Flus files here from yesterday, which as I was re-going through them this morning, I was starting to get annoyed, and that hence this segment that is probably going to turn into 2 segments because I got a lot to get through here, and I want your reactions. Okay, so Matt Eberflus, year 3, big job, pal. You got a new quarterback, you got a ton of new faces, and you got a defense that's trending in the right way. You've got pressure to win. It's a lot going on. Flusy Flus has gotten all the endorsement from Ryan Poles. Hopefully the Flus is going to be here for a long time. Let me say all of that. Again, hope the Flus will be here for a long time. Being honest as a head coach depends on, to some is important, some is not. I'll throw that out there too. As far as talking to the media, honesty in the room, one thing, got to have that. Honesty to the media, another thing. But I will reserve in my rights to be annoyed when I'm being lied to occasionally. So, and I'm not saying lies a little bit too aggressive, but I want to endorse that the Flus, and sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. He can call it as it is with his quarterback. I think his quarterback has a very strong backbone, one he's been working on for a long time. He's an evolved human being. You can speak straight, which the Flus did, by the way, starting out yesterday. This is before any other questions, and he was analyzing the day at practice, and he admitted, yes, correct, sound cut number 1. It wasn't exactly the best day out there.
Not perfect right now by any stretch of the imagination, and that is defense, offense, special teams, everything's work in progress, and that's where it's at.
So he says it's not perfect, but the first thing he says, defense, offense, special teams. Dude, your defense played really well. Your defense was excellent yesterday. I know you want to incorporate everybody into them. It's not perfect right now. The offense is a work in progress going up against a great defense. You can say that. Like it's okay. And so when you don't, I started down the road. So Dan Wiederer, you're up on the CHGO Bears podcast. You had a question about progress.
And when it comes to Caleb and watching his growth, how do you, in your seat, kind of properly contextualize and monitor both his growth and his inevitable struggles as he goes through the early spring and summer?
Yeah, we're doing that with all players.
So, okay. He asked the prize. Well, we're doing that with all players. No. Matt, he is asking you about the quarterback. Okay, and you do get into it here with your response to Dan.
Specifically with Caleb, it's really just about when he, can rip the call, get the call in and out of the huddle, break in the huddle, having that pace that we need to have. And we've been doing, of course, the walkthroughs, and he's been really good with that. And this is the first time going against, a pro defense, and a pretty good one. So it's going to be a learning for everybody. And they're getting everything together, and it was progress. I saw progress from the first day to the second to the third. So it's been good.
So, for everybody, and he is, again, like, to me, it just feels like he's trying to make things as soft as possible for Caleb, sort of treating him with kid gloves, which, again, I don't think he needs. Now, here comes Dion Miller with a question about what about these vets? Are they going to, what's their impact on Caleb? Let's hear Dion's question real quick.
Is there more of an onus on older players like DJ, Keenan, some of those older receivers in what their role is to get Caleb comfortable in this offense and to help him get up to speed? Okay,
so straight question. Is it on the vets to help Caleb? Answer.
It's really we use the veterans in all positions. So it's certainly your comment. We're going to use all the veterans to help all the young guys. Even like with DJ and Keenan, he's going to help Rome. And they're also going to help the quarterback. And also, you have Cole, who's got great experience. Everybody on the offense that has experience, we're going to lean on those guys. And the same thing on defense. When we brought, Tyreek in, last year, we leaned on, Jalen, we leaned on Tremaine and TJ and all the guys there. So that to me is you can learn a lot from the guys that have been successful in this league, and we certainly do that with every position.
Yes, it's on the veterans to help Caleb along. Of course, they're a team. Am I the only one that's annoyed on the like listening to this, or is it just me? Help me out here.
For me, I think I don't know. I've felt like I've heard Eberflus kind of not answer questions before. So like when he's not being very direct, that's kind of going back. I feel like that's going back to year one Flus, where there were a lot of things in the media where he just didn't handle things properly. And then there was a spurt in time where I felt like he was a little bit more direct, was a little bit, but yet yesterday's, I don't know, are they deflections of the questions? They just didn't want to go directly to answering anything about Caleb. And I don't see why.
Yeah,
right. To me, it's an annoyance of a coach that's getting tired of every question being about Caleb.
Could be
and that's why he's like, well, there's a whole team here. He's like trying to tell you guys this. That's how I interpreted it.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now let me get Mark Potash in here, the great Mark Potash, who we love having on the program. And he asks him a question, and after this one, Flus starts speaking literally his own language that no one understands. But this was Potash's question.
Caleb's personality, which is obviously pretty strong, is that had an effect? Do you notice that? I mean, do offense, defense, whatever, is there an effect there, or is he still like the new guy who's just?
So has his personality had an effect on the room?
Yeah, I think
it's a pretty easy question.
The effect of getting that authenticity in terms of the connection is that there is, at the end of the day, we're all Chicago Bears. So it's not about being offense, defense. I play linebacker, you play quarterback, or O-line, versus a secondary guy. That doesn't matter to us. We're just all the Chicago Bears, and we got to be tight that way because that's going to be the glue that keeps us together.
So hold on a second. He asked him, does his personality impact? Has it had an impact already?
Well, but then he also said, or is he just one of the guys? So that in that question, Potsy said, does he have an impact because of his presence, or is he just like another one of the guys? So I did think that answer made sense in that light. Yes, because he's trying to say it doesn't matter. That's what's great about this team. It doesn't matter what position you play. We're all Chicago Bears. And honestly, when we were at the game yesterday, at the White Sox game watching, Caleb, we thought Caleb Williams was going to throw out the first pitch. It was Rome Odunze that threw out the first pitch. And the whole rookie team was there. And Caleb, like if Caleb wanted, when he went to Wrigley a few weeks ago and then went to Comiskey today or yesterday, he could have been the guy that I'm the number one pick. I want to throw out the first pitch. All these moments are super special to me. I'm going to make it about myself because this is the moment I've been dreaming of my whole life. And he's giving runway to other players because, Caleb's obviously going to get plenty of shine here. So I do think Caleb is making a proactive approach to just be one of the guys here so far.
That's his impact. He's lifting up other players. He's making sure that his rookies are getting lifted up. The question was, has his personality impacted the room? Yes, it has. Caleb's had an impact already as a rookie in 6 seconds being here. Instead, he went into this whole, we're all Chicago Bears. Let's all have grape juice and sit around in a circle at day camp answer. And come on, man. I maybe you understood Flus language there. I didn't understand it at all. I thought it was a very direct question. Can I hear that actually one more time, Stephen? Could just Caleb's personality helping? Is it helping the Bears? And then what did he say?
I actually deleted the audio. There's so many in there. It's easier to keep track.
Okay. All right. Fair, whatever. It doesn't matter. He just went into this whole slop fest about how we're all Bears and Patrick Scales a Bear too. No.
I think you're just doing, the Carm thing where you're digging deep into them.
I'm not even digging deep.
And you just want him to answer it directly. And what I'm telling you is he's already tired of every single question being about Caleb Williams. So he's just going to revert it all back to the team because he's the head coach of the team and he wants everyone on the team to know that he's thinking about them. And he's not going to, make this the Caleb Williams tour for 3 months while we all obsess over every, breathing moment that Caleb has until the regular season.
It's May 23rd. you shouldn't be that tired. You should be super excited. You should be drooling over Caleb Williams every single day. I mean, good God. All right.
He looked like he was in the 1920 football drive video, which we'll be talking about after we get to some few ad breaks. But
yeah, we'll do that in a second. And I do want to wrap up with somebody who actually knows how to give an honest answer, and that's DJ Moore. We'll do that in a second. But first, Gregory, I know you want to tell us about our great friends at Circus Sports.
Yes, I do. Excited to get back out with them next Friday for our 120 club with the CHGO Cubs gang. Make sure you come out to Murphy's Bleachers. Circus Sports will be there as they are every Friday 120 club with their tight money line splits, low hole model games strive to be a -110 split on the Circus Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a -115 or -120 split. Circus Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. Extremely transparent. Circus Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. I encourage all bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available. Go see for yourself. Compare the lines from each sports book. No one better than Circus Sportsbook. Their customer service is second to none. Real people behind the Circus Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use the chat bots. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circus Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates, including like I said, the 120 clubs. And there and if you or someone you may know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
Everyone go check out Circus Sports, and then you got to check out our friends at Ray CDJR. This May, our #1 draft pick for all things Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Rams has got to be Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. And right now it's a season, which means not only is May the time to find your next vehicle, you can score huge savings as well. For a limited time, lease the new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $419 a month, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price, because with Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices you can expect to shop in store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of Chicago area's largest inventories, then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
All right, we'll get into the 38-minute video of the Bears draft from the Bears video department, the 1920 dropping yesterday. But just wrapping this up real quick, I got to play these. Pat Finley asked the great Pat Finley from the Chicago Sun-Times, who Greg Braggs is great friends with, and they want to go to dinner soon. You love when I get Finley on the show. My guy, great Northwestern fan. Finley asked him about, hey, he lobbed a layup about Caleb's ability to think, and this was the question.
What have you learned more Caleb's ability? You said he's progressing day by day. What have you learned about his ability to learn and to put stuff into action from one day to the next? And what does that?
Been very impressive.
Very impressive. Well, ho. Here's an opportunity for him to talk about his quarterback in a nice way. What else you got, Flus?
It's been very impressive. Yep. His ability to chunk information, put it into buckets, and operate. And we're not holding back. We're giving him a lot of information. We're giving him the offense, and we want to be able to go through the whole offense before the offseason gets done, and primarily most of it. And then working into the summer, we'll have a plan for him there, and then work him in training camp, and then go from there.
I mean, just an opportunity. I mean, it is impressive. And it is a good Flus, by the way. He wants to be Caleb's best friend. And that's cool. I want to be Caleb's best friend too. Hi, Caleb. I'll give you the claw wherever you're at. We followed you to the White Sox game last night. That was sweet. Took some pictures. Bragg was all over the place. I apologize, by the way, Gregory, that I had to catch a train and we missed the drama of the 9th inning and left in the 7th. Thank you.
That would have been such a funny moment too.
It would have been a funny moment. I should have just taken the 11 o'clock train and just had the longest day of all time. But at any rate, regardless, here's the thing, man. You're the parent. He's the child. I know it's not quite that way, but you're the dude that's been there. Caleb doesn't need you to completely, blow him up. Again, this is a strong number 1 overall pick. Got it together. Honesty matters. Caleb wants to hear it straight. You had an opportunity to blow him up. That's cool, but I'm going to be paying attention to that side of it also. And just to wrap this whole thing up, DJ Moore, Ferris Bueller, this dude knows how to answer an honest question. They asked him, why the hell are you at OTAs when you're working so hard all the time and you're throwing with Caleb and you're hanging out with him? Why are you here? And here's how to answer a question honestly from the great DJ Moore.
Why is it important for you to be here as much as you are and even do all the work that you do outside of OTAs? Caleb, why is it important for you? You don't have to be.
$200,000 on the line. I don't want to be here and make that money. But outside of that, you got to get the connection down with Caleb and with everybody, even when we're home, the whole room, the whole offense just want to be around each other and build that bond and relationships that we had last year, and then form it with new people.
Because I got a freaking workout bonus that puts an extra $200,000 in my pocket. Plus, by the way, win-win. Yeah, anytime the offense can be together, great. This is good for us too. That is refreshing. DJ, you're my DJ. I love you, my DJ. I mean, that's freaking awesome. Does anybody have? Oh, he's all about the money. No, he's all about honesty. Yeah. If I could show up, if you told me right now that I had to go to Antarctica and go through whatever that passage is where everybody pukes on the boats that go down there, I'm in for $200,000. Let's go. Or probably, I don't know, $2,000. But I just honesty, it makes me feel good. Braggs, you look exhausted. Nick, you're right. I mean, just say it how it is, man. We can do this. We can do this, Flus. I believe in you. Not really, as far as the honesty thing, but I'm still holding vision that you can get there. How's that?
Yeah, I'm not exhausted. I just maybe I am. Maybe exhausted is the word, because I see Nick Albrecht in the chat saying CHGO wanted this, or they wouldn't have posted that Caleb was struggling. Nick, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, we are gonna tell you what we saw, but it doesn't mean that you have to then take it like it's a narrative pushing or that we're predicting failure for the future. Like, just take the information we're giving you, use it however you will. If you want to just take it and be, nuanced and stay calm. If you want to take it and freak out, if you want to be the aggregator account and use it to pump, a bunch of clicks and likes, go for that too. But what you do with the information we give you is out of our control.
That's on you. That's right. On you, Nick. Like, if you want to take it that way, that is just on you and like the stupidity that comes with it. Let's be completely freaking honest here, because that's what we're doing. We're reporting what I'm seeing. If you want to interpret it as that's what it is, that's on you, my friend.
Jason, I'm using some
common sense.
Yeah, God. Jason, I'm using the information to panic. There, that's good honesty. Thank you. When I said at camp last year, like, hey, they're not throwing the ball deep. That's a little weird. I've been to 25 training camps in my lifetime, and I've never seen them not throw the ball deep. And I had a flood of comments. Well, that's because they're working on short throws. Fields is good at deep throws. And like I said, then the rationalization comes into play. For me, I didn't play, on the professional level. I didn't play at the college level. I didn't even play at the high school level. But I know what I see, so I can just tell you what I'm looking at. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it equals this. And when I didn't see the deep ball at camp as much as I am used to, that didn't mean that I thought that they were going to be terrible during the season. but it is little indicators that you have to take note of and see if they improve on them or if they get worse upon time. So like, it's just one of those things. And we as fans, we're going to even media, we all have our bias. We all have our predictions we hope come true. We all have, our hopes for the team we root for, that things always work out for the best. So you're going to have rationalization that comes into play with your implicit bias. That's what happens at training camp. And when both sides of the ball are Bears players, you can always find a way to the positive. But at the end of the day, we're going to try to call it as straight as we possibly can so you guys can get some honest reporting. And obviously I'm going to sprinkle in my ridiculous meatballery where I get to a point that I'm saying Chase Claypool is dominating training camp and I'll never hear the end of it. That's what'll happen. And I'm sure at some point I will be having the Bears win 16 games by the end of training camp this year. That's we all get excited, but like, it's just one of those games you got to play throughout this year.
So let's move along to 1920 Club Drive, whatever the hell it's called, the Bears media thing that you all get fired up about.
It was great. Last night's was great.
It was great. Okay. It was adorable. I am whenever I watch what is it exactly called? 1920 Club
1920 football drive.
1920 football drive. Okay, great. 1920 football drive. I should know that. That's on me.
It's the 120 club that you're getting confused with the 1920 football drive club.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, there were some interesting moments in there for me. One being that, he was out in front, that they wanted that, Torrey, they were going to take the punter. He said that, like, I don't know exactly when, but it was way out in front, that they wanted him with the 4th round pick. And then they were going to try to trade back in and get Booker, Poles basically had you saw that he had an excellent pulse on who was going to be there, what they wanted, and what it was going to take to get there. And so it seems like the draft fell exactly that way, the way that they thought it would. And I'm sure there's other parts of this that went the other way, which is why, for me, watching this, I cannot wait for Hard Knocks. Because this is why, to me, the Bears are super paranoid. Like the whole setting where they were like, okay, let's hear about Caleb Williams. And they're all sitting there, they're very proper. And then, Caleb Williams was a quarterback at Oklahoma. And I'm like, is this really how this went down? There's no way that's how it went down. You guys sat down together. He's got a father named Carl Williams, and Caleb nor number 13. And does anybody even believe this stuff when you're watching it? Do you guys just sit there?
What is that?
I liked when I did find that part funny too, like getting through the obvious information, but they still read it off. Like, all right, let's talk about Caleb. And the part of that I thought was where they said 6'0", which meant 6'1", right? Is what I'm assuming, Nick.
Caleb Williams, male, plays football, quarterback. I was having a hard time. Give me Hard Knocks in there. Let me see what it's actually like.
But the information they had on him was great. After they got through the Caleb Williams, male, 6'0", 10, whatever he weighs.
His teammates like him. Everybody likes him.
Shut up for a second, because this was good information.
Okay, go ahead.
This was dating back to February, and this is what their report was on him. Ben Devine helped me out with this exact quote here on Twitter. Francis St. Paul, the senior national scout for the Bears. This is the prototype new age quarterback who is a high-level competitor. Flashes rare talent with his arm, capable of making throws from multiple angles at all 3 levels. He can play within the pocket or out of the pocket. Very good touch and accuracy on all 3 levels. Dangerous runner who can get the first down with his feet consistently. This guy will be an eventual top 5 QB in the league. His combination of his ability, competitiveness, and desire to win makes him rare. And that was a wow moment, especially when you have the scout on your team saying he will eventually be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Now, you draft a quarterback number 1, you replace Justin Fields. yeah, that better be the expectation. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're putting it, and they put it on. They didn't have to put that information on this, segment here, but that is their expectation for Caleb Williams here in Chicago. So Matt Eberflus might be, circling around and not answering questions because he's trying to protect Caleb Williams. Well, the franchise and the organization have an expectation that they just drafted a guy who will eventually be the top 5 quarterback in the league with the traits that they think he possesses. And that was certainly something that stood out to me.
Yeah, I also had that written down in my notes, just kind of watching it. Also, somebody said he's a player that just has it. And I think that's what everyone kind of talks about with Caleb, whether it's his personality or what he can do on the football field. He just has that it factor that, obviously made him the number 1 overall pick. I was also looking at when, Eberflus was kind of showing Caleb all the Bears greats. I think, Mark, you said earlier, he was like a teacher. It kind of felt that way. Here is, Walter Payton. And then, do you know who this player is? That's George Halas. Like, it was kind of funny seeing him explain it. Like Caleb was 5, and then Caleb's like, oh, wow, this is awesome.
Do you know
the Brian Piccolo Award?
Yeah.
Do you know who Brian Piccolo is? He once roomed with Gale Sayers. You know that guy, right? It was a white guy and a black guy, and they roomed together. And Gale's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean,
I'm surprised he didn't give him I'm surprised he didn't hand him a DVD of Brian's song, like as a homework assignment.
And this is Richard Dent. He won a Super Bowl and was the MVP. I don't know. It's too much for me. I just can't. Did you know that Jim McMahon was once a quarterback here? And so was Mike Singletary in linebacker.
Yeah, I guess instead of like awkward, it's like Flus word.
It is just it's too much. And I get it. It's their channel. They want to promote their thing, but like that, they did that to Caleb. Hey, here's all these cool dudes that played here. I don't know if you know Brian Pickle's story. Super tragic. Died young, but him and Gale were great friends. Like there's a way in which it could be like you're not explaining it to a 6-year-old. He's not 6. He's your quarterback. Let's go.
I can't wait till Matt Eberflus unleashes his hive of bees onto you, Carm.
That's fine. That's fine. Look, and I gotta say another thing. Okay, I get that he's the president. It's cool. I'm rooting on him getting the stadium. Yeah, here we go. It's cool. I like Kevin. He comes over and says hello to us. But like, oh my God, every other shot on there is Kevin Warren sitting there, like, just taking in the draft. Okay, like it's a little too much in the front. And then they had the whole prayer thing going on again, which that's how Kevin lives his life, which is completely fine. But it just shows he's got a lot of feet on the ground, a lot of influence in that building. They show him they're doing things.
He's very front facing.
He's in the thick of it, man.
Ted Phillips was behind the scenes, but we all hated Ted because of the product. And so Kevin Warren is front facing, but since he's been here, aside from this whole stadium debacle that who knows when it'll get actually resolved, but at the end of the day, I don't care if you're front facing or behind the scenes. It's about the product on the field that I invest so much time in, that we all invest so much time in as fans and media and everything in between. As long as the Bears are good, I don't really care what Kevin Warren does. Jerry Jones, he's as involved as any owner in football, but when they're good, Dallas Cowboy fans don't complain. When they're bad, I'm sure they hate Jerry. It's just kind of how it goes.
Maybe that's what I don't know what I'm keying into. It's just that it's just that much different. What else stood out for you guys in the whole thing?
Yeah, one more thing. When the Bears executed the trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, they had Jeff King kind of facilitate that, his position with the Bears, the co-director of player personnel, and you saw like the appreciation that everyone had for, like, there you go, Jeff, like kind of giving him the fist bump, and that was a guy that was interviewing for GM jobs. So kind of highlighting that segment on him. maybe that can go, when teams are going through that cycle next year, like, oh, hey, Jeff knows his people, knows how to kind of work a trade, and was able to, make that happen to go get Austin Booker, get back into the draft after they draft Torrey Taylor. So I thought that just showed, good insight how that war room kind of works. Like, it's not just Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham. There are other guys involved that will help make, big decisions ultimately happen. So good for Jeff King, and obviously getting the guy that the Bears wanted.
Well, and Gary's pointing this out in the chat, and I agree, because he mentioned before they made the call a 4th and a 6th. So I'm assuming they were thinking about giving 2 picks up to get back in to get Austin Booker, and they only ended up having to give up a 4th. So that part of it was something that I earmarked as well. So Gary caught that. Gary doesn't miss a beat. So those 2 things, how aggressive they were for Torrey Taylor once, Cincinnati, who they thought might draft him, and how they were going to, go after him. And that, Poles was calling him a weapon before they drafted him. Now everybody's calling him a weapon after the fact. I liked the guy they had call Torrey Taylor. That was that was a fun moment. He was like, surfs up, mate. And then obviously just the whole moments leading up to Rome Odunze at 9, like that whole part, watching that room and watching Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham react and their guessing game on who was going to go from the Chargers with Joe Alt. Will the Giants take Malik Neighbors? It's certainly, you could see even in that moment, Ryan Poles showed his hand on who he had on his board above in terms of Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors. I think all GMs say, oh, we got the best player on our board when they draft a guy. But in that moment, it'd be hard to argue against that, because when the Giants drafted Malik Neighbors, the look Ryan Poles made was very happy. And it was almost like he was trying to reverse jinx it, because he was telling Ian, like, I think they're going to take Rome Odunze. So it was almost like he was trying to brace himself to not be disappointed. And then when the Falcons took Michael Penix and the reaction that Ryan Poles made, like, if you haven't watched it, to me, it's a great moment. Obviously, we were at Joe's on Weed Street completely losing our mind. They had to like internally lose their mind because they have to keep their composure. And then for everything to fall into place for Rome Odunze to become a Bear, that whole sequence was really cool to watch unfold.
The Penix part, the look on his face when they pick, he's like, Penix, they pick Penix. That's basically, in my mind, the look that Braggs has when he pulls into the drive-thru at Taco Bell. I mean, that he was frothing at the mouth at that moment. Yeah. That was Taco Bell Braggs-esque right there.
100% good right now.
He's a very calm Poles, right? He sits there and he's well. So do they have fun over there? Is there fun going on?
One thing that I think was interesting, and Nick, I don't know if you caught this, but like, so after the whole thing was over, the draft was over, or the first round, Kevin Warren hugged Ryan Poles and said, like, I know that must have been hard to be patient there. Mm-hmm. And so we had heard like Ian was having to hold, Ryan Poles back from a potential trade up. And so with Kevin sitting, like, they didn't show, like, I feel like they didn't show everything, obviously, that led up to 9. And maybe there was some conversations there where Ryan might have started to get trigger happy to want to come up and get his guy in Rome Odunze, and then didn't, because they were like talking about patience and how hard that must have been for him there. So I just found that also was really interesting. So I think, like you said, does anybody have any emotion in there, Carm? I think some of the stuff they left out because they don't want teams to see all the conversations they have in terms of, their trade dealings or their potential trade dealings and the way they think internally in a negotiating process.
Shout out to Pidge. You could see Poles' nerves waiting to pick Rome. He was chewing on the gum pretty hard. I mean, that's what Pidge does. He will break down a gum chew on a 19-foot, 20 football club, whatever the hell it's called. That's a good job by Pidge. I like that. Braggs, when Kevin Warren told Ryan Poles that he loved him, did you have a reaction to that?
I cried.
I feel like I love you. I love you. By the way, I'm going to fire you in 2 years if Caleb sucks, but I love you. It's just
and the other thing I liked was hearing so much from Jeff King. We don't get to hear too much from him, but he's a big voice in Hallis Hall, and somebody that they lean on heavily, in this decision-making process to bring in players to this organization. So I thought the Jeff King stuff was really interesting too.
Pepe Sylvia, Poles gum chewing provided more insight than any Flus presser. That could be checked. That's good. The gum chew did actually tell you something. You gotta search for things, man. Gum chew, Poles, nervous, Rome, super happy, Bears, breakdown, CHGO.
That's the kind of insight you get on here, man.
Remember Nick earlier in the show where Carm was like, I have to keep you guys in line. Remember that?
Remember that? Yeah, I do remember.
I've been
because of his age, real estate.
I think I've done an absolute phenomenal job today, for the record. It's Friday. We're gonna go have a Friday. Did we forget anything before we say goodbye for the weekend? Because
we got some super chats.
Okay.
Little Steven. Did you see a little Steven down there? He was
little Steve. Little Stevie.
Where'd he go?
That was
Stevie down here.
That was quite adorable.
You're not calling me that, no.
Little Stevie.
You're so tiny.
Hey there, Gizmo.
Hey there, little guy.
Let's get these super chats in there. I thought I was reading them as they came in. Son of Gore, $2. Flus will run the ball and rely on Good D early. Son of Gore, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a lot of screen passes. I think DeAndre Swift is going to eat, as they say, the kids of the world. A lot of, it's going to be, it's going to be a minute before that offense is completely unleashed. It's too many moving parts, too many new dudes, too new the offense. I think it's going to take a second here. I agree with you. Robert Kinley, Williams supremacists finally seeing the problems. Robert.
Yep. We find it's all coming. The chickens have come home to roost, Robert. We've reaped what we sow, Bob. Just another failed quarterback here in Chicago. And it's all because of Nick's reporting. God damn you, Nick. You ruined another quarterback here in Chicago.
I did it. I'm sorry.
Leak, $20. I think Brad has the right perspective. Karma's being a typical cynical media type. I don't even know where I was cynical, Craig.
Carm is an asshole.
Where was I cynical? I didn't say
I think it was going through the clips.
I think he's talking about your Eberflus breakdown.
I don't even think that's cynical. I think that's spot on brilliance by me. I didn't even say it's cynical. I didn't even mention the fact that I think that the best quarterback on the team might still be Tyson Bagent.
Okay. Let's have a great weekend.
How did he do? Everybody wants, there was a few people in chat. So how did he look?
He looked good. Tyson looked good. Tyson looked like he was getting the ball out on time.
That's what you need to see.
He actually scored a touchdown. I mean, look, if you go and read the article on ALLCITY with my top observations, there's some Tyson Bagent in there. He ended his 7-on-7 period with a nice touchdown to DeAndre Swift in the back right corner of the end zone.
Okay.
Just got to go to allchgo.com and check it out.
There you go. And see that, to me, Carm, that's your angle. You need to get back in with Tyson here to understand what he can teach Caleb Williams.
Well, let me tell you something about Tyson Bagent yesterday, if I may. My QB2 for life. They were doing this pitch drill. So you take the snap, you go back a couple feet, and you pitch it. And then if you were pitching it right, then you would run to the left. And most guys, every other quarterback in there, they would do the pitch and then they do a couple steps to the left and then make their way back to the huddle. Bagent, I don't know if you noticed this, Nick. Maybe you did because I was sitting right next to you and I kept talking about it. But he would do the pitch and then he was the only one, I think I actually said this to Hogue. He was the only one that he did the full circle around, came across the line of scrimmage like it was an actual play. He was by far putting in the most on each. He didn't do that. He did not do it, on any play. Every single time he did the same exact thing as it was an exact play, which is part of the reason that the dude has been able to make it this far because he's not the most talented guy in the room, but he does have obviously a ton of talent too, and he does have the size and the work ethic's in there. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, there was actually, now that you're bringing this up, Tyson Bagent went up to DJ Moore, and I can't say exactly what the terminology was, what he asked DJ, but he asked him, "Oh, are we treating this route like X, Y, and Z?" So it's like Tyson is not afraid to ask questions. Tyson's going to look to do everything the best way he possibly can, and you want that from your backup quarterback, just in case anything were to happen to Caleb Williams. Knock on wood, it doesn't, but very detailed. Is going to complete the rep like Mark was just talking about, is going to ask a veteran wide receiver who's been, racking up 1,000-yard seasons for years now, how to do things properly. So I do appreciate that about Tyson. He also looks bigger, Carm. Like
he does.
Looks like he's he's put on some weight in terms of muscle. So yeah, I like seeing that from Tyson Bagent.
So I love. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carmen.
I'm just saying, for real comment, then you can take it all the way you want to go, Bryce. For real comment, I hope that Tyson Bagent doesn't play a snap all season long unless the Bears are in a blowout. However, if he does get a chance to play, if something happens to Caleb, he's got to miss a couple of games, I'm going to tell you right now, I think he's going to play well. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing, because I saw you pulled up the comment, or little Steven did, the Austin Reed threw a touchdown to Cole Kmet. And also got Booker to jump off sides. I find that really interesting that Austin Reed's getting reps that Cole Kmet are even involved on. And obviously, I'd love to hear how he looked even just beyond that throw. But that's interesting because I just love this quarterback room and how they have 3 different quarterbacks they're developing. So just a little bit on Austin Reed, if you may.
Yeah, that was interesting to just even see, like, honestly, Cole Kmet being out there for when he was quarterbacking. Other than that, Braggs, like, there wasn't too much from Austin Reed because there were even times in 7-on-7 where Tyson only got 2 reps and they put Caleb right back in there after his series. So there's a lot of guys that are, actually repping there at the quarterback position, but he was able to fire one off to Cole Kmet, and that was not happening for the first team offense. Everything that was being completed off to the flats, and DeAndre Swift, pass catcher. Look for that for this season because I think he's going to be another threat that the Bears will be able to utilize once they start getting things going.
As far as third quarterback capabilities go, Austin Reed's got it, Braggs. It looked like a fine third QB to me. Antonio Havis, $9.99. Sum this up. A veteran defense got the best of a rookie quarterback missing 2 weapons. It's May 24th. We will be fine. Carm, my guy, don't come in here with negativity on a Friday. LOL. Antonio, 0 negativity. 0. It's not negative.
Well, Carm has to lay the foundation. He's not doing any negativity today, but he's planting seeds because then once the regular season gets here, that he can get Caleb Williams out of the first team offense as fast as he can so Tyson Bagent agenda can be back in full play. Yeah. So right now is the seed planting. You're going to trickle it in. And then when the time is right, swoop in with the second, Tyson Bagent song and take Caleb Williams' job. That's the agenda that Carm has. I just laid it all out for you guys.
Right. First of all, you're just so brilliant because that's exactly what I'm doing. That the whole point is that is all Bagent. But
you're a quarterback whisperer here in Chicago. I mean, you predicted, Josh McCown before anybody in the media saw it. And then last year you saw Tyson Bagent. You tried telling all of us that Justin Fields wasn't it. Nobody wanted to listen to the quarterback whisperer, Mark Carman. So we are all deferring to you now going forward to help us get to the promised land.
Do you remember when Dave Swirsky stole my Tyson Bagent song, Secret Bagent Man?
Hey, Dave and you are going to come together for a duet, and you're going to sing My Endless Love.
We could do that. Or I'll sing, You Wrote a Song. Remember that one? Been acting like you did nothing wrong. Do you remember that? It was so good. You were late to the party. Thought Bagent was QB3. The odds are you still think Bagent is a backup. He was Secret Bagent fraud. I almost like Secret Bagent fraud more than Secret Bagent bad. That's a good way to end the show on a Friday. Thank you, Pitch, for remembering. Nick, anything exciting this weekend you want to tell the peeps about before we get out of here? Because I got one thing I want to tell everybody about where they need to be tonight, Friday.
Tonight.
No. Tell them what's going on tonight, Mark. I'm curious.
Rain? Is it going to get rained out, Mark?
I am worried about rain. That's a good point that you bring up. But assuming that the rain goes away,
do they play in the rain? Like,
I'm not sure about that.
Lightning, do they play in the rain?
Well, they're not going to play in lightning. But if it's just raining, would they play? I'm not sure, honestly. So just take all that out of there. Floyd Kalber, Andy Avalos, name your favorite Chicago weatherman. The sectional final, Lane Tech champions, New Trier Trevians, battle of girls soccer supremacy, with Lane Tech being led by the one and only, the amazing Grace Carman in her junior year. Two-time All-State. Let's freaking go. I'd love to see you out there. If you see me, if you come to the game, if there's a miracle that anybody's actually going to do that, you come up to me. I will do something incredibly nice for you, like go to the concession stands and buy you whatever you want. If you come up and say CHGO and Braggs is my hero, or Nick is my hero, or Carm is my hero, Hogue, Little Steven. Little Steven gets little Steven gets you a whole pizza out of there. So, yeah.
Little Steven will come just for the whole pizza.
Little Steven. It's a new character on the show. I love it.
Little half-face Steven. This is amazing.
Hey, subscribe, everybody.
No show on Monday. We'll see.
Do you have wait? Do you have any diehards to shout out?
I didn't know that.
No, we're gonna do that next week because
you're gonna do it next week. That's all the way till Tuesday. We'll have 15 more diehards by then.
Great. Become a diehard, allchgo.com.
We got a diehard named Sebrin. You're not going to say, I wanted to hear what you had for Sebrin.
Listen, you will be patient. And first of all, his name is not Sebrin, it's Sebrin. All right. And Sebrin and I are close, and you will learn about Sebrin on Tuesday, as you will learn about Jeff and the rest of the diehards that and what can you say? But what can you say about? All right, fine. You want to do it now? Let's do it now. Let's go. My guy, Sebrin. First of all, welcome, Sebrin. And to be honest, I don't know if it's Sebrin or Sebrin, but I'm saying it's Sebrin because Bragg said it was Sebrin, and SEB seems like a Sebrin to me. Sebrin goes his own way in life. Sebrin blazes his own trail. Sebrin is somebody that not only can he focus on one thing, but he's got his focus on the entire piece of the pie. Sebrin can see Caleb. He can see DeAndre Swift. He can see, even back in the day, like Matt Eberflus, he can show you a Brian Piccolo, and he can do it in a non-cheesy way. Sebrin is a guy that I've always looked up to, and Sebrin is now a diehard right here on CHGO. Thank you, Sebrin. And Jeff. Big J, shoots the J. But he also, let's not forget about his Red Hots. The dude makes a sweet hot dog. He doesn't go for the imitation. Jeff buys the best. He goes for the Vienna beef. He is, in fact, Jeff is the beef. And I have no beef with Jeff because Jeff is the man. Jeff, let's be honest, he's got the greatest name in middle name history. Michael Jeff Reed Jordan. Jeff is a GOAT in his own right. Jeff is the man. Jeff, you're a diehard. Congratulations on getting a free t-shirt. Congratulations on being in our Discord. Congratulations on getting discount to all of our events. There's so many things that Jeff got. Congratulations. And thank you, by the way, for just supporting us here. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. We try to give back to the diehards. And in fact, I hear that Braggs is doing a diehard overtime right after the show, and he will be in the Discord.
Oh, did you?
For the next, yeah, I did, because you got a lot to say, you got a lot of thoughts. I know you want to get it out there even more. So you're gonna be how long will you be doing it today on the diehard overtime?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I gotta go get my daughter from school.
Why don't you talk on the way to getting her? Why don't you get just do it on the move? You haven't been in there in a while.
She brought cupcakes because she's just wrapping up kindergarten. She's, got a couple more days. They're off Monday for Memorial Day, and then I guess they go back Tuesday for some random reason for one more day. So this is an exciting time. Should I I saw somebody on Twitter do a bunch of water balloons to chuck at the kids as they get off the bus. This seems like a great idea and something right up my alley. I think that's what I'm going to do.
I think you should do that, and you should film it and put
Yes.
it on Die Hard Overtime. Hey, Nick, have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too,
But
Mark.
not me.
Greg.
But not me. You don't want
Everybody
me.
have a great
You want
weekend.
Nick to have a great weekend, but you don't want me to have a great weekend.
That's correct. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Thanks for watching the CHGO Bears podcast. I'm kidding, Bragger. You have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Congratulations to Addie making it through kindergarten, which is further than you ever made it in school. She's already topped you. Way to go, Addison. That's amazing. Shout out to everybody who supported the show today, chat, or however you did it. We appreciate it. Hey, OTAs next week. We're back out there next Friday. Caleb is going to be amazing. If he's not, it's still okay. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a safe and fun holiday weekend. Appreciate you watching CHGO.
Bye, little Steven.
Hi, little Steven.
Bye, guys.
We all silly like the mayor.